morning, everyone. Today is July 2nd. Boy, the month of June went by so fast. So fast and so quickly. Next day I'm doing one thing in the month of June, and then it's like, boom, I'm here in July. It goes by so fast and so quickly. But anyways, I just want to talk to you guys about a 13-year-old autistic boy um, being shot at by the police. Um, and this is part of the police brutality. So please just leave me a comment and tell me what you think of this video.
Pull your hands out, dude. Pull your hands out.
Police in Salt Lake City are coming under scrutiny after an officer shot a 13-year-old boy with autism spectrum disorder after he did not comply with demands to get on the ground.
I don't feel good.
Lyndon Cameron could be heard in the video saying he didn't feel good after 11 shots were fired, some of which struck him. He was taken to a local hospital where he's recovering. The mayor of Salt Lake City called for the investigation into the officer's actions to move quickly.
Knock it off.
I am profoundly heartbroken and I am frustrated. This shooting is another tragedy. It's a tragedy for this young boy, for his mother, and for families and individuals who have acute mental health needs.
The incident began when Cameron's mother called 911, asking for help for her son, whom she said needed to go to a hospital because he was having a violent episode. She also told the dispatcher that her son didn't trust the police and that he may have access to a gun, but she wasn't sure if it was real.
Does he have access to a gun?
No, not that I believe. Well, I don't know, honestly.
Stop. Get on the ground. Knock it off.
Body cam footage appears to show Cameron running from police when they spot him and call for him to stop. The Salt Lake City police chief says he believes the city should have more resources to deal with calls for help with mental health.
And make no mistake, this is a crisis. As a police department, we want to be partners with those who provide mental health services. As a community, we need to find a way forward. Too often our officers are called to deal with these difficult problems, which frequently are not criminal in nature.
A GoFundMe campaign to help Cameron's family pay for his medical bills has already exceeded its goal of $100,000.
All right. So, as you can see, the officer shot a kid 11 times and they didn't press charges, as you can see. And because if it was me, I would have pressed charge and put that officer in jail just because he shot my kid 11 times. Like, come on, that's police brutality. They call you to help him with the mental health issue and like put him into the mental hospital. They didn't call you to cause harm to that boy. And what the police did was they caused harm. So, anyways, I'm going to read you this report from the Salt Lake Tribune. The prosecutors will not criminally charge the Salt Lake City police officer who shot and injured Lyndon Cameron in 2020 after the boy's mother called police seeking help for her son's mental health crisis. Salt Lake County District Attorney Sam Gill announced Friday, nearly 3 years after the shooting. So, basically, you're telling me that the prosecutor is not charging the officer for shooting a 13-year-old autistic boy? You're telling me this. man, like, how? Like, how you're not gonna charge this person? Like, he now, granted, he didn't kill the 13-year-old autistic boy. He didn't kill him, which is that good. But he caused harm to him. Like, if it was me, I would have pressed charges no matter what, because he's trying to cause harm to, and if I had a child and the police shot my child, I would say, yeah, press charges against the officer because he caused harm to my child. No, I'm asking you for help, not to shoot and harm the child. That's totally wrong. You know it too. You know that's totally wrong. Anyway, while Gill declined to file charges, he called Officer Matthew Farrell's decisions to shoot the unarmed autistic child unreasonable given the facts of this incident. According to a letter he sent to Salt Lake City Police Chief Mike Brown on Friday outlining prosecutors' findings. Farrellas fired 11 shots at Linden, who was hit 6 times and seriously injured. We cannot say that the shooting of an unarmed 13-year-old child suffering a mental health crisis who never presented even a false smile of a weapon or an object which could have been mistaken for a weapon and who did not act in a manner in which a fair interference would suggest a weapon was reasonable, Gill wrote in the letters released Friday. So, basically, they didn't press charges, which it's totally messed up. Totally. In addition to prosecutors, internal legal analysts, Gill's office sought 2 use of force experts to review the case. He decided against filing charges in part because their analysts conflicted each other. One expert, retired Colorado Police Sergeant Natasha Powers, found Farrell's use of force unreasonable, while the other Connecticut-based attorney and former police officer Eric P. Daigle found it reasonable. In short, we found the use of force neither necessary nor unreasonable and therefore unjustified, which I agree. It is unjustified for them to use a firearm to shoot at a 13-year-old autistic boy. Gill wrote in his findings letter, however, given the inherent conflict of experts which would introduce doubt, we believe we are not likely to meet our burden of proof. Linden's family issued a statement through their attorney Friday afternoon saying they grieve Gill's decisions not to prosecute the clearly unjustified shooting by Officer Matthew Farrellas. That decision is probably the most stupidest decision ever, not to prosecute the officer. I would have prosecuted him. But anyways, carry on. And see what happens, and of course, they're on code with each other, so it's like, what can I say? We are concerned, the statement continued, that the district attorney decisions not to prosecute Officer Matthew Farrellas will merely galvanize an already ingrained belief that certain citizens are not deserving of due process, fairness, and common decency. I agree. I agree to that. In a statement Friday, Salt Lake City Police spokesperson Brent Weisberg said the department is reviewing the district attorney's findings. While the civil and criminal cases associated to this investigation have resolved, the department's internal review remains ongoing. Reisberg said in an email statement calling the shooting a tragic incident. The police shooting. Lyndon's mother called 911 on September 4th, 2020, and requested a crisis intervention team officer to help her son, according to the findings letter. Such officer received specialized training on how to respond to people experiencing a mental health crisis. Um, I would say to this part is the government needs to create a mental health emergency hotline. What I mean by emergency hotline, I mean they need to call the hotline, say, I need emergency help. My, significant other, my son, daughter, or whoever is having a mental health crisis and I need some help because he's going through a violent episode, so you have to say, I need some help to help him calm him down. And basically, the professional, one who deals with a special needs and the mental health issue, they need to be emergency for only the mental health crisis, not the police officer, because police officer has so much um, crime that they're dealing with. They're doing what's basically safe, safety, or they're keeping the society safe. That's their job. Now, for people who's dealing with mental health issue and mental health episode and things like that, they need to call the mental health hotline and create a program for the hotline where they can go and rescue the people who has mental health crisis. Just, help them calm down. They don't need to have a gun or anything like that. Although I was saying they might need some sort of weapon, but really they don't need to use it, is what I'm saying. They can go over there, talk to them, just help them calm down, um, or something, so that they don't get hurt or harm other people or, harming themselves. But anyways, I will continue to read on this. Um, the boy, the boy had been struggling because he wasn't taking his medication and had experienced recent trauma. The letter states, including that his grandfather was killed by police in Nevada earlier that year. Well, there you go. Another police brutality. About 2 weeks before London himself was shot, police had responded to a report that he had taken his mother's truck and was driving recklessly with his brother in the truck bed. London had an airsoft gun with him and threatened to get into a shootout with police, the letter states. So it seems to me that he's Lennon Cameron been dealing with the police when he was younger, is what I'm starting to see. Uh, and I believe he went through a lot of trauma, how the police was treating people, especially his grandfather, and he despised the police. And I agree, a lot of people is starting to not like the police at all. In fact, I'm starting to see that a lot of people are standing up to the police, including me. I will stand up to the authority if they keep doing this, if they keep um, mistreating the special needs and the mental health. Um, but, anyways, on the day of the police shooting, the initial dispatch report shared over police radio advised of a possibly violent psych problem for a 14-year-old who has mental health issue, an aggressive history with police, and needs help calming him down. Lyndon, who was 13 at the time, would be 14 the next month. As police walked up to scene, audio captured by body cameras showed that officers questioned why they were responding. One asked why they were doing an approach into Lyndon's home for a psych problem. We could call Sergeant, the officer said, and tell him the situation because I'm not about to get in a shooting because he's upset. Yeah, replied Ferrelis, especially when he hates cops. It's going to end in a shooting. Boy, I don't know what to say to that, but that's totally wrong. Ferrelis and two other officers identified only by their last names, Goodsell and Hendricks, were first to arrive at the scene near 500 S. Navajo Street, where they found Lyndon's mom, Goda Barton, in her vehicle that was parked down the street. She told officers that Lyndon was triggered by police, reacts to the outfits, and everything like that, according to the letter. He sees the badge and he automatically thinks, like, you're going to kill him, she said, or he has to defend himself in some way. And I'll be honest with you, people in the special needs community, we all, or at least most of us, we all feel that way. Or most of us do feel that way, and it's because we've seen the negative things that you guys do. I mean, you guys causing police brutality everywhere. It doesn't matter what color we are. It could be black, it could be blue, green, orange. It doesn't matter. Uh, you just enforce anything you do, and it's like you can do whatever you want. And really, the police, and I would say this, that you are not above the law. You know, all the police officer is not above the law, and yet they treat everyone as they think that they are, and it's totally wrong because you have the badge and the power doesn't mean that you can treat people any type of way, period. I mean, and that's what we all have to deal with. I mean, especially the black and the special needs community. I mean, I've been through it. The way that police been treating me is horrible. I mean, very horrible. Um Anyways, continue on. Lyndon had previously been in treatment in Nevada, but Barton said she took him out, adding that he was freaking out that day because she was at work and didn't answer her phone when he called. She told police that he may have a BB or a pellet gun, but didn't think it was a real gun. and said that his brother and two renters were inside the house. Um, if he has a BB gun, the first thing I would do as a parent is never let him have that. I don't. Here's the one thing I don't understand is if you know that your son is autistic, I don't know why that you have to give him any type of gun, especially the BB gun or the pellet gun. Like you're just teaching a child how to shoot, and I would never want to do that to my child. Like he's too young for that. Ugh. But anyways, um, the three officers met with each other and decided to approach the home. They also requested another officer to come, and later a fifth officer was sent to the scene. Forellis chased Linden, who jumped a back fence. Backup officer identified only by the last names Bennett and Barth arrived at about that time and saw Linden running in an alley toward them. Bennett ordered Linden to stop and get on the ground. Linden then turned around and ran back toward his house past his backyard where Forellis and another officer were in the process of breaking through the wooden back fence. Bennett and Zerbarth chased him, followed by Forellis, Goodsell, and Hendricks. Let me see. Forellis passed Bennett and Zerbarth, becoming the lead officer in the pursuit, telling his colleagues that Linden might have a gun. And this is why I don't buy my kids who's autistic a gun, because this happens. But he was unarmed, so really the police was wrong, and I don't know why his mom said I believe he has a gun. Like, it's just, I don't know. He soon caught up with Linden and yelled at him to get on the ground. Linden said no and tried to walk away. The body camera footage shows two other officers arrive, both yelling commands to either pull your hands out or get on the ground. Then Forellis said he saw Linden's hand move toward his waistband and he fired. Okay. I'm thinking he has a gun. He's going to try to kill me or kill someone else. That's when I made the decisions to fire. Forellis later told prosecutor, I didn't feel like there was an opportunity to use a taser just because of the gap. I was maybe 10 to 15 yards away from him. So when I saw him go for his waistband, I shot. Forellis said he never saw that Linden had a weapon. About 1 minute and 46 seconds passed between the time officers first knocked on the front door at Linden's house and when Forellis shot Linden. According to Gill's letter, this police shooting marked the 20th of 30 in Utah that year, according to a database maintained by the Salt Lake Tribune. Months after Linden was shot, his parents filed an excessive force lawsuit against Salt Lake City police. The city settled the case in September by agreeing to pay out $3 million, the largest amount the city has ever agreed to pay. in such a case. And I would say bravo to the parents for getting that money. He got paid, and that's how it's supposed to be. Lennon's family at the time said Gill's determination in the shooting was long overdue and called the settlement a crucial step towards increasing awareness for those with mental health challenges, according to a statement provided by their attorneys. SLC and SLCPD continue to deny liability for the shooting. However, their actions following the shooting demonstrate that they understood the wrong that had occurred despite legal arguments that could be advanced according to the statement. The family on Friday called Gill's decisions a significant backward step in their ongoing healing process and said that it represents a miscarriage of justice and contributes to the steady erosion of trust by the public due to the many documented instances of police violence and brutality, both in Utah and throughout the nation. They added in this statement that the ruling also invites confusion and encourages Salt Lake City Police to deny allegation made against officer, regardless of the severity of the officer wrongdoing because of Mr. Gill's unwilling to prosecute. So I'm not going to read the rest of it because I know it's kind of too long and been over 25 minutes, so I'm going to stop right there. But anyways, as you can see um, from this video, you know, it's really messed up, and that cop should have been fired, prosecuted, arrested, and should have went to jail for shooting a 13-year-old autistic unarmed child. Gosh, like, what? I don't know what's wrong with these officers, but they shouldn't deal with people who has special needs or that is going through mental health crisis. Police should never take care of that. It should be uh, somebody else who has a lot of training and has a lot of learning and so on and so forth that knows how to deal with special needs and mental health crisis. But again, um, who am I? Who am I supposed to say? I'm just a special needs reporter that tries to help people get justice. So please, if you can, just leave me a comment. Also, press the like button and please subscribe to my channel. Um, it will really help with the algorithm. So thank you for watching this video, and I will see you on the next one. Take care, give care, and I'll see you later.